let's just go through quickly some of the numbers. $2 billion in funding for Ukraine, which includes $835 million for critical equipment such as ammunition. Wouldn't it be nice if we'd topped up the Canadian military, but instead we're worried about fighting climate change. $680 million for the purchase of military equipment sourced from the United States to strengthen Ukraine's air defense capabilities. I thought we hated the Americans.
Wait, Canada is buying military equipment from the United States, whom P.S. Mark Carney says are bad.
To give to Ukraine.
Make it make sense, Canada.
$220 million to purchase drone and counter drone technologies.
That is not good. We've all seen the videos. Okay, we've all seen the drone videos. That is not good to be involved in.
The drone videos. $165 million in support for the armed forces of Ukraine. Again, imagine just being someone in the Canadian military reading this right now. And $100 million to source ammunition and explosives through the Czech ammunition initiative. Let's go to that video from Mark Carney. There will be no exclusion of pathways for Ukraine to the European Union or to NATO for that matter. I wonder if he had any discussions with the American president, who is doing his best to broker peace, because this seems like he just threw a wrench in the spokes right there.
Sure did. He sure did.
Through with our allies in Coalition of the Willing and with Ukraine, the modalities of those security guarantees on the land, in the air, and the sea, and I would not exclude the presence of troops.
Coalition of the Willing, coalition of the butchers, who are literally walking our children into war.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find
coalition of the willing.
We've got also, we don't need to show this quite yet. I'll mention it.
Did they just label the United States as unwilling? Kinda.
We've also got Carney speaking on Canada quadrupling its military spending as part of meeting new NATO spending levels while meeting with Poland's Prime Minister. Because Poland, being sort of next door to this mess, is meeting its NATO targets. So let's see what Poland's doing, and then I'll show you what Canada's doing.
We're together working side by side in Ukraine, together side by side in NATO, and if I may say, we learned much from the Prime Minister, from his government, including the importance of pulling our full weight in NATO. And it will take us a few years to reach Polish levels of commitment. It's possible. But it's possible. And we have made that commitment. We will quadruple our spending on defense between now and the end of the decade. And to do that right, to do that properly, we need the best partners in partnership with Poland, in aerospace, in other areas, and in partnership with Europe through that intensified defense partnership.
Okay. Now, he says that he's going to increase Canadian military spending, but I'll show you how he's doing it. Olivia, would you mind bringing up that story that I did? And it's exclusive access documents. So this is from August 12th. And it's sort of right after Mark Carney says that he's going to increase spending to the Canadian military, and that was by $8 billion. He said he was going to do that. And he said, oh, like everybody's going to get raises and we're going to. So, but half of that increased military spending is $427 billion, which will go directly into decarbonizing the military.
Oh my God.
So he's not spending it on real things. He's saying, oh, we're spending $8 billion on the military. Yeah, but 50% of that
is going to green initiatives.
Green initiatives. Oh, and who's going to be involved in that?
Let me just.
Brookfield Octopus.
I wonder what arm of Brookfield is going to have its tentacles wrapped around this military spending. And we've
Exactly.
seen disasters when the federal government injects green initiatives into infrastructure or military or other federal I guess, agencies. We've seen how this can go sideways. Like, is the military supposed to be the defensive arm of Canada, or is it supposed to be the green initiative flag bearer? But I guess we can't forget that at least since 2017, when pride flags started being flown on military bases across the country of Canada, that's when we completely lost the plot as it pertained to our military strength. Like that's when it all started going bad. And so we're pivoting we're pivoting from one DEI structure to another ESG structure. And this time
Right.
there's going to be Brookfield involved.
Like a dirty
Just
shirt.
insane.
Like he
Just
just can't
insane.
help himself. This is just Carney's conflict of interest government. That's
It's
what the whole thing is.
it's institutional corruption that is just rotten to its very, very core. And how any of this is being allowed to happen is an outrage. It's an actual outrage.
Yep. And then there's Doug Ford weighing in for some godforsaken reason. What does Doug Ford have to do with any of this? And you know what? Here, I would, if the Western premiers weighed in, I would at least understand that there was a reason that they might weigh in. Because guess where all the Ukrainian refugees are going? They're going to the West. Why? Because we have their schools, we have their culture, we have their food, we have their churches. I can go to mass every Sunday in Ukrainian.
Yes.
This is where all the Ukraine, like we are culturally compatible with all the Ukrainian refugees. I don't mind that they're coming here. You can take Ukrainian immersion at school because it makes more sense out here than taking French immersion. Unless you want a job with the government, at least it's, again, has to do with the culture of the place. But there's Doug Ford shooting his mouth off. And then, of course, taking a jab at Donald Trump, who is trying to put an end to this war because he just can't help himself because he's appointed himself the foreign affairs minister for some reason. But let's hear from Doug Ford embarrassing the country.
Obviously, again, it adds a whole layer to this Independence Day and these celebrations that we've seen. There were some celebrations held yesterday in Toronto. You can see Premier Doug Ford right there. He was asked about that ongoing conflict. He had some strong words for Vladimir Putin. Here's what he had to say.
We'll never, ever waver in support of the Ukrainian community and the war that's going on. Putin is an absolute tyrant, and he never back down. You give that guy an inch, he wants your country. That's what he wants, and he won't stop. And I'm disappointed with President Trump as well. You know, he should be putting a hard line that Putin doesn't get an inch of property, not an inch.
So again, some strong words that we're hearing from him there. And
why?
Oh, Doug Ford. Oh, well, you know, I suppose Sheila, that we should be happy to see Doug Ford at a Ukrainian heritage festival instead of a pride parade at this time of year too. That's I guess Doug Ford can receive partial points for that, but as for the rest of everything he said, again, what is he thinking?
It's just any opportunity. Like you can both hate Putin, not think he needs to take any more of Ukraine, but also realize that opening your mouth and taking a sideways jab at Donald Trump while he's trying to end a war and simultaneously crush the Ontario economy, probably a bad idea.
Probably a real bad idea, Doug. Like, again, whoever Doug has in his sphere of influence is giving him all of the bad advice that a man can receive on this because he's taken the exact wrong approach since the very beginning. Doug doesn't know where his elbows are at this point. They're so high up in the air. And that was a strategy that was adopted, we'll say, by the Liberal Party of Canada. And Doug just doesn't know when to let sleeping dogs lie.
Yeah. Yeah. He just no, he's gotta walk by
He
and boot
does
the
he not?
dog, poke it with a stick.
That's exactly what he just did. He kicked America. Like, stop kicking the biggest dog, Doug, and maybe you'll stop getting whipped, you know?
Oh,
Maybe they'll stop whip because they're gonna hear it. The Americans are gonna hear
I
Doug
give
said that.
every day he finds a way to just shoehorn his crazy anti-Americanism into everything
Yes. Yeah.
for no reason.